Nice to meet you.
I helped.
Natasha, nice to meet you. Isola, nice to meet you. Love the hair.
I love it.
Heather, nice to meet you. Aaron Marie, nice to meet you. Nick, how do you do? Rexler, how do you do, man?
Hi, Chad. How you doing? Let me show you Ben Helsing, right?
Yes.
Hello, how are you? Chad. Nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you.
Natasha.
Cheers, Natasha. How are you? Nice to meet you, Kate. This is awesome. Come on.
The best table.
There's a pack, too,
We
if
saved
you
the
wanna
best for
add.
last.
Who gets to take this home?
We're actually going to give it to the PR person so you guys can find it. So we're going to take $1 million.
I'm going to frame it. Put it in my house.
Split it up or anything like that.
Oh my
I mean, we
God.
may have to put our names on it just so you can say this was the best table.
It's good because I don't know how to spell Isola.
Yeah. Okay, sometimes I even forget.
Also, because I want an email copy.
Right.
Like, yeah, there you go. No, you can tag it
Pretty
on
good.
There you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you are.
That's so cool.
I can stay.
Yes, yes, you can.
What do you have to contribute to our doodles? I'm just kidding.
I'm not even recording.
I'm on the spot.
That's why we're good partners. Nice tail.
How excited are you guys about the show? Where are people going to get out of it? Or what's the biggest takeaway?
Well, we're excited. I mean, anytime you're giving birth and about to serve up what you've been working on for the last year, from an idea and a concept to casting to financing to writing to shooting, we're still in production right now, is just to give birth to it and hope that what we chose as a path and a journey is something the audience is going to like. So it's like an artist. It's like what I just did. You're either going to like it, you're going to hate it. So we're going to get a season 2. We're going to all be here again, and we're buying drinks. Or we'll be back with some space show or something aside or something else, right? So yeah.
It's eerily compelling. Once the show grabs a hold of you, it's such a great cast of characters. It's Port Moore, Alaska. It's like almost the end of the road. It's where much like a lot of Alaska, it's where there's some disenfranchised people who don't necessarily fit in elsewhere, fit in this town. And on one side, and then you have scientists, and it's an odd mix. So, and then you throw in the horror of the ghosts and everything, and everybody's relationships are strained, and it's just a compelling show with a great cast.
What's interesting is, had you guys done this show 10 years ago, it probably struggled with creating that just the landscape for genre shows. Do you feel like this now, sort of being in this kind of, we're in a golden age of genre TV, do you feel like you guys are trying to sort of be in a really great place to be able to tell this story?
If we've executed it right, I think so. I mean, we've only been doing this for 24 years, which means we've either been at the end of the golden age or we're just in the beginning of it. And we're fortunate enough to be we're the producers of Fargo, and Warren Littlefield, Noah Hawley, one of the greatest showrunners around. When we sat down for our first couple meetings, Warren Littlefield, ex-president NBC, and he's the one that did this little thing called Much Watch Television on Thursday nights at NBC. Friends, Frasier, Seinfeld, little things like that. And he actually, this is like 3 or 4 years ago when we started the first season of Fargo, he said, "Chad, I think we're going to have golden television again." And I'm like, "Yeah," coming from the guy that was golden television, and now with his hits of *Handmaid's Tale*, our 4 shows, the timing is actually great. It's actually really good for the first time in our careers.
Also, we're Netflix the rest of the world. So it's on linear television, so often your demographic is like, you must be 18 to 49 and you have to hit these certain numbers. But when you're on Netflix, you can grab a larger based audience, and it's subscriber based. They have some magic way of keeping track of all that, which I don't understand. But your show can stand on its own merits through a larger, people tuning into Netflix. Netflix is agnostic to, so it allows something with broader reach, but not necessarily as targeted. I'm not saying we are that, but I think it's part of who we are on this show.
Now, this was discussed before in round trip with Helsing, where when we were discussing how if there were any type of limits to the storyline or to the narrative, if you had any limitations to it, or there was anything that you were, regulations about showing, like the ghosts, or having, I guess, too graphic content or anything like that, or were you allowed to just go with whatever and expand on this mythos for the show?
I mean, we deal with the S&P department of Syfy for the show, and we're not versioning it for Netflix, so we are governed a little bit there. Although in the sound mix, if there's some language that Syfy may not like, we'll let it play on Netflix, that kind of thing. But for the most part, we understand what those boundaries are kind of intuitively after having done Van Helsing. And having said that, there's some freaky stuff in Ghost Wars. It's almost more intellectually freaky than.
Because in the trailer, it's pretty. It's a mind trick.
Yeah.
What makes it easier? Who's your favorite guest?
Oh my God. My answer: whoever comes out of the fucking trailer fast enough. That's it. Whoever's the last one, I gotta go get him. No, we have a great cast
today.
Exactly. No food.
You're no longer my favorite.
Exactly. You're number two.
I'm going to Comic-Con.
Well, if you saw the panel, or you're hopefully at the tape that you can actually see the panel. I mean, between Vincent and me, I mean, everybody just rides each other's asses. It's truly a lovely family, and the sad thing about it is not everyone's gonna survive. Maybe there's some people that's gonna happen. Well, I don't know. So
it's about ghosts. So
yeah,
they may not survive, but they could.
They could. We
Should we put bets?
Yeah, that's right. So.
Should we put bets already on who is or is not a ghost?
You could, but we couldn't answer or pay you out. You could come and try and collect from us, but that might be hard. Next year's panel.
Should we?
Yeah.
Go back next year.
This will be the signed agreement. Here's
They tell us.
We learned on Hell on Wheels. We did that for 5 years. Outside of Hell on Wheels, there was a sign that said "Population, one less every day," and we truly, whether there was difficult actors or actresses, killed people left, right, and center. I mean, so the audience never knew in the Old West who was actually going to survive. I mean, listen, we purposely tried to write our dear friend Christopher Heiderall that played the Swede. We cast him on the second episode. He wasn't in the pilot, and he was supposed to die after 3 episodes, and he ran the whole season. We did kill him 3 times. He was like that cockroach that never went away, but he was this incredible, lovable villain that it just every time we said we got to let him go, and it's like, what are we doing? We can't let that character go. So I'm sure we're going to be struggling with that as we come to our last few episodes of filming on Ghost Wars. So.
Also, making a show is a bit of a voyage of discovery. You learn and you see people interacting, and then some of your initial ideas get modified, molded. You're growing it together. You let it flow. So I guess people who are being a prick, they can.
Well, if you were,
That's the thing too, is like if you see that the fan base is really liking a specific character, would you allow that to sway your decision on whether or not that person should really? It's kind of like Walking Dead, like nobody wants to die kind of.
Yeah.
Like is that something
Well,
that
it's too late because we're gonna shoot it. And we're done. It's in the can. We've already made the decision. But you mean come back for a second season?
Yeah.
hey, there's ghosts. They can come back.
That's what I mean.
Well, like
is
Van Helsing, we already saw that. People come back.
endless possibilities with the show.
Surprise. Yeah, and anything is possible. And listening to the fans, to the audience, is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
On Van Helsing, we started the room in November, started shooting in February. End of February, first week in March, Syfy gave us this big, thick document after, interviewing thousands of people and fans and audience members. And I was like, what? Now you tell us?
It's too late.
We've already killed him in the first episode. So, anyway, spoiler on Van Helsing on to season 2.
Oh, we didn't say who.
We didn't say who.
If you were
What's that?
You said a heater.
Threw you again, didn't I?
If you were solely on Netflix, was there anything you would have done differently? So if you did addition, like would you have gone full bore into the horror or the craziness or any of that?
I don't think we pulled any punches, honestly. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, you Syfy, you get a lot more leeway than other places.
I mean, there'll be a bit of language difference, but we're just letting it play, and we'll bleep it or change it. Or
There'd be more nudity, because that's the one thing where we struggle with. Is Syfy doesn't allow us to, but that's okay.
Like you said,
That's,
it's all the S&P and
yeah. Wouldn't that be hot?
I mean,
Shining lady makes a.
You know what I'm saying?
You show it on
the
Syfy,
gal in
a
the
lot of
green
black
bat.
bars.
right.
That's right.
And then when there's too much cursing, you put those like the really strange words that they make fiddle.
Fiddle, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
But I mean, also, how did those wear clothes? Like,
very well.
how?
They do have Dolce & Gabbana.
The answer for everything. I love it.
Well, I guess as the last one, what would be the biggest influence that going into those stories?
I mean, I think Kubrick's a pretty solid influence, but it's such a blend because I mean, making a television show is at least when we do it, is a team sport. Where we encourage ideas from the floor and things, we allow things to develop, and all kinds of influences come in. Eggleston, the photographer, Kubrick as but not solely. I think good pieces grow from the center out, and not necessarily trying to follow any direct path. I think that makes sense.
No, definitely.
And I think the writing came from a group of 7-8 individuals that have all had personal experiences.
They didn't all agree on the same thing.
They all had certain individual things, and
They've all coughed up furballs.
yeah,
That's so gross.
little triffets. Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thanks, everybody.